right, hi, good day everyone. So today we'll be doing January 2021 paper 2 number 1 question. Now number 1 is strictly, again, number theory and computation as well as consumer arithmetic. So let's look at the first question. The first question says, using a calculator or otherwise calculate the exact value of. Now, when they say use a calculator, you can use the calculator and tell them, instead of showing the working, calculator was used to get the final answer. Yeah? Now, sometimes, and this is in the most recent questions, they did not tell you to use a calculator. They just said to calculate the exact value of. Now, if you see that instruction of calculate the exact value of, you need to show your working. So what I will do is I'll show the two methods, how you would do it on your calculator as well as how you would do it manually. Now, when you see a question like this with a combination of operations, and what I mean by operations, I mean addition, subtraction, multiplication, as well as division, right? When you see this, what you can do, what you can do is we follow BODMAS. That's what I'm supposed to say. We follow BODMAS. Now, everyone know B stands for brackets. So if you see brackets, that's what you're going to do first. O stands for power of, right? So if you see any powers, that is what you're going to do first, or after the brackets. D is division, M is multiplication, A is addition, and S is subtraction. Now, in this question, you're seeing addition and subtraction. So according to BODMAS, we have to add the two first and then subtract. So what you would do is add 1 and 4 over 7 plus 2 over 3. Now, the first thing when you're adding fractions, you need to check the denominator. And everybody should know the denominators are the numbers at the bottom here, or down, or at down, right? So if I have A over B, this one number here is your denominator, right? So when you have that, and you see that your denominators are different for addition as well as subtraction, you need to find something called LCM, which is the lowest common multiple. Now, this one is pretty easy, where the denominators are prime numbers. Prime numbers are numbers that are divisible by 1 and itself only, right? 7 and 3 are both prime numbers, so I can simply find my LCM by multiplying. 7 by 3 is 21, right? You say 1 plus, well, it doesn't have an next whole number, it will be 1. Then after you find your LCM, you compare your denominator with the LCM. What I mean by that is I ask myself how many times my denominator could go into my LCM. So how many times can 7 go into 21? 7 could go into 21 3 times. So I multiply my numerator of that fraction by 3. All right, so 4 3s are 12. So 12 is going to come here. Right, and then you're going to have plus. Then you're going to compare your next denominator with your LCM. How many times 3 could go into 21? 3 could go into 21, 7. So you multiply that numerator of that fraction by 7. 7 2s are 14, or 2 7s, however you want to say it. Right, now we add the numerators. The new numerators. 12 plus 14 is equals to 26 over 21. 1 and 26 over 21. Now, if we know anything about fractions, 26 over 21 is known as an improper fraction. The reason why it is an improper fraction is because my numerator, the number on top, is larger than my denominator. So what I have to do is convert this to a mixed number. So 26 over 21 is equal to how many times can 21 go into 26? 21 can go into 26 one time. And then you ask, what is your remainder? 1 by 21 is 21, and then you count up to 26. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So my remainder would be 5. So my answer is now going to be 1 and 5 over 21. Denominator stays as is, right? So your remainder is your numerator, and your whole number, is how many times the denominator could go into the numerator. Right, so this will now become 1 plus 1 and 5 over 21, which is simply just add the whole numbers, which is going to be 2 and 5 over 21. Now, when you get this, this is not the end of the question. The question will now become 2 and 5 over 21 minus 1 and 5 over 6. Right, so let's put that there. 2 and 5 over 21 minus 1 and 5 over 6. Right, again, if you have addition or subtraction of fractions, you check to see if your denominators are the same or different. 21 and 6 are clearly different, so we have to find the LCM of 21 and 6. Right, these are not, 6 is not a prime number, so we have to find the LCM the long way. Right, now the numbers that are only going outside here is your prime numbers, and prime numbers are numbers that are divisible by 1 on itself only. So let's just write out a list of prime numbers. That's 2, 3, 5, 7, not 9, not 10, 11, 13, 17. We'll stop up to there. Right, so you're looking at the smallest prime number. You're asking yourself, can 2 go into at least one of these numbers? 2 could go into 6, so you will use 2. So 2 into 21 cannot, so you bring down the 21. 2 into 6 is 3, right? Then you ask, can 2 go into 21 and 3? It cannot, so we're finished with 2 as a prime number. We go into 3. Right? Could 3 go into any of these numbers? It can. You say 3 into 21 is 7. And 3 into 3 is 1, right? Then you ask, can 3 go into 7 and 1? No, so you finish with 3. 5 cannot go into 7 and 1, so you don't use 5. You are now going to use 7 because 7 could go into 7, right? So 7 into 7, 1. 7 into 1 cannot, you just bring it down. Once you get 1, 1 at the end, you are going to multiply the prime numbers you have outside here. So it's going to be 2 by 3, which is 6, and 6 by 7 is equal to 6 7s are 42, I believe. Yes. So my LCM of this fraction is going to be 42. So now I'm going to say 2 minus 1 is 1. How many times can 21 go into 42? 21 can go into 42 2 times. So you multiply the numerator of that fraction by 2. So 5 2s are 10. Minus, how many times 6 could go into 42? 6 go into 42 7 times. 7 6s are 42, yeah. So you multiply the numerator of that fraction by 7. 7 5s are 35. Now, obviously, 10 cannot minus 35. So what I would have to do is I would have to borrow 1 from this whole. Now, you cannot just say add 1, right? You are adding a whole number to fraction. So what you do is you look at the denominator so that it will tell you how many parts you're going to be adding. You're going to be adding, what is the denominator? 42. So it is going to be plus 42. So now when you add 1 whole to 10 over 42 as a fraction, it will be 52 over 42 minus 35 over 42. Or you could just put right. And then after you do that, what is 52 minus 35, guys? Can anyone tell me? Very good. So my answer is going to be 17 over 42, and that would be your answer. Now, some people tend to forget this borrowing. So to avoid that, and this is the way that I taught majority of you guys who were here when I did fractions, To avoid all of this, what I tend to do, and I'll do it here, is change everything to mixed number, improper fractions, and then do them. Now, if you were to use your calculator, like the question said, you can use your calculator to solve this, right? What you will put, you are looking for on your calculator, A, B over C button. When you see this button, this means your over button. Right, so it will be 1, and then you're going to press this ABC button. You'll see something that looks like this. You'll hear me saying over, right? 4, then you're going to press the over button again. 7, right, plus 2 over 3 minus 1 over 5 over 6. And when you do this, you're going to get the exact answer, 1 over 4 over 7 plus 2 over 3 minus 1 over 5 over 6, over being the ABC button. They will give you an exact answer of 17 over 42, which is the answer we got here, right? And that is how you would do it on your calculator. So the red writing is how you would do it on the calculator. 2. So part 2 says write the value of the cube root of 27 all over 9 squared as a lowest fraction in its lowest term. Now, let me pull up the picture of my calculator. Right, so this is why I'm telling you you're going to be doing this on your calculator unless you understand the cube root. Right, now let me do this in black. The cube root of 27, they're asking you, this basically means what 3 of the same numbers when you multiply it is going to be equal to 27, right? And you can use this calculator to find. I'm telling you this is equals to 3. If you multiply 3 times 3, multiply by 3, multiply by 3, you are going to get 27. So the cube root of 27 is equal to 3. And 9 squared, this just tells me I have to multiply 9 2 times. So it's 9 multiplied by 9, which is equal to 81. So the question will be 27 over 81. And you ask yourself, what could go into 27 and what could go into 81? If you know your timetables, you would know 9 could go into 27 3 times, and 9 could go into 81 9 times. So it's 3 over 9. And then you say, well, 3 could go into 3 1 time, and 3 could go into 9 3 times. So the answer for this question is a 2. Now, please note the question did say as a fraction in its lowest term. You need to make sure you have broken this down into its lowest term. 1 over 3 cannot be simplified any further, right? Also, they said you could do it like this or use your calculator. Now, if you look at your calculator, right, you're going to see cube root. Are we seeing that button with the 3 and the little square root sign? The root sign, I should say. It's right here. Right? It's in yellow, so that means we have to press the yellow button, which is the second function button. So you're going to put, let me make sure, second function, that 27 divided by square. Okay, what you're going to do is put that cube root, open bracket, 27, close bracket, and then you're going to divide it by open bracket 9 squared. Right, so let's see. Second function, the cube root button, that's this button here, open bracket 27, close bracket, divided by open bracket 9 squared, close 9, open and close bracket, squared. So where I went wrong is, I put 27 over 81. It is not 27, it is 3, because they said this cube root of 27. So this is supposed to be, let's erase this. Erase. It's supposed to be the cube root of 27 is 3 over 9 squared is 81, right? 3 into 3, 1, and 3 into 81 is 27. So the answer would be 1 over 27. That's what I just now did. I put 27. The cube root of 27 is not 27. So 1 over 27. No. Right? So again, this is what you put in your calculator. If they give you, now when you put that in your calculator, right, that I just now explained, they will give you a decimal, 0.037037037. If they give you something like this, you are going to press this button, the ABC button, right? While it is on this answer, if you press that button, it will convert it to a fraction, right? So if you're using your calculator and you put exactly this, right, and you get a decimal, press that ABC button and you'll get it as a fraction. All right, part B of this question says the thickness of one sheet of cardboard. Now, let's write that down. One cardboard, I'll just put CB for cardboard, is equal to 485 multiplied by 10 to the negative 2. All right? Now, a construction worker uses 75 sheets of cardboard stacked together to insulate a wall. Show that the exact thickness of the insulation is. So they give you the answer and they're telling you, listen, I need you to show that this, how they got that answer. So this is my if, then, and therefore method, right? Where if one cardboard is this, they ask you, so I'll put if one cardboard is this, then 75 cardboards would be what? Now think about it. If you don't understand this, the concept I'm going to say right now, think about it in a smaller way. If one apple is $2, how much would 7 apples be? It would be, how much is the cost of one, which is $2 multiplied by 7. Same concept here. If one cardboard is this, then 75 cardboards would be 485 multiplied by 10 to the negative 2 multiplied by 75, right? And when you have this, right, we are going to put it in your calculator, 785 multiplied by 10, and you are going to see a button on your calculator called YX. All right, so on your calculator, this is what you're going to put, 485 multiplied by 10. You press that YX button, or even it have a button that looks like this, and that would give you an upside down V. You put negative 2. Negative 2 is not minus 2. Please do not confuse the two. Negative 2 is this button. This is negative and this is subtract. So when you put in 10 to the negative 2, do not put minus 2, right? Subtract 2. You're pressing this button here for negative, right? And then you're going to say multiply by 75, right? Let's do it to the negative 2. Multiply by 75. And when you multiply this, you are going to get 363.75. That is the answer you're going to get. This is everything, and this side is millimeters. So this is how we will show that the thickness of 75 cardboards is this length. 2. Write the thickness of the insulation correct to two significant figures. So we know that the thickness of the insulation is, let's put this in black, 363.75. Now, when they say two significant figures, you're starting from the first digit, which is this 3. This is 1. This is your first significant figure. 6 is your second, 3 is your third, 7 is your fourth, and 5 is your fifth. They said two significant figures, so you're going to draw a line after your second significant figure. Now, what you will do is look at the number after the line is drawn, which in this case is 3. And you're going to ask yourself, is that 3 more than 5 or less than 5? It is less than 5, so we do not have this number, the 3, 6 remain as is. So this will be equal to 3, 6, and everything after that line turns to 0. So it'll be 360.00 to two significant figures. You can put it as this or say 360 to two significant figures. Same thing, and you'll get the answer. So this is 360 to two significant figures. And that is how you would put an answer correct in significant figures. The last one, which is decimal places. The next one says 363.75. Now they said to one decimal place. That means the number of places after your decimal point. This little dot here is your decimal point, so this would be 1 and this is 2. They said only one decimal place, so you're going to draw a line after your one decimal place, and then anything after that line, the number right or directly after the line, you're going to check to see if it is 5 or more. In this case it is 5, right? So if it is 5 or more, you have to add 1 to the digit in front of the line. So it is going to be 7 plus 1. So it is 363.8 to one decimal place. And that is how you would do in a question in decimal place. Part C says they want it in standard form. So they want 363.75 in standard form. Now, the point in standard form is to get one digit, only one that is not 0, right, in front of your decimal point. So what you would have to do is shift your decimal point 1, 2. So your decimal point will now come in front of 3. We only have one digit that is not 0 in front. So it is 3.6375, and it is always in standard form. Now another word for standard form is significant scientific notation, right? It is always multiplied by 10. And the only thing that you need to remember in standard form is if you shift your point, to the left hand side, your power, right, is positive. And if you had to shift to the right hand side, your power would be negative. Now, obviously, we shifted to the left hand side, right? So our power would be positive, and the number of places you had to shift, we had to shift it only 2, so it would be positive 2. If we had to shift it 3 places, it would be positive 3, right? And again, if you go to the left hand side, your power is positive, and if you go to the right hand side, your power is negative. So again, the answer is going to be 3.6375 multiplied by 10 to the power of 2. You don't need to put positive 2. It's understood that a number, all numbers are positive unless stated otherwise, right? So let's go to the last question. The last question says Marco is on a vacation in the Caribbean. He changes 4,500 Mexican pesos to Eastern Caribbean dollars. He received 630. So it is understood that 4,500 MXN is equal to 630 ECD. Right? Now, they want to know, complete the statement below, what is 1 ECD to MXN. Now, this is your if, then, and therefore method, guys. Right? We have if, then, and well, therefore. You have your left-hand side, you have your right-hand side. The right-hand side is what you're trying to find out. We are trying to find out MXN. So we have MXN here. And we look at the question and see what do they give us in MXN. They told us that 4,500 MXN or Mexican pesos is equal to 630 ECD. Now, the next part, then line, is to find for 1. So 1 ECD, right now, your then line is always defined for 1 unless your if line is not what 1 is equal to. Right, so 1 ECD would be, it is always your right now, well, majority of the time. There are some exceptions, but it's majority of the time right-hand side divided by your left-hand side. You are looking at your if line. What is on your right-hand side in your if line? 4,500. And what is on your left-hand side in your if line? 630. So 1 ECD would be 4,500 over 630. You put that 4,500. That over line also means to divide. So 4,500 divided by 630. And you are going to get an answer of 7.142857143. And if anyone has dealt with money, you know that money only has 2 digits after a decimal point, right? So what we would have to do is count your digits. 1, 2, draw a line after a second. When you draw that line, you check and see if the number after the line that is drawn is more than 5 or less than 5. It is less than 5, so this number will stay as it is. So 1 ECD would be $7.14, 14 cents Mexican pesos. And that is how we would do this question. Right, and that is the end of January 2021, number 1.